Should older people lift weights or should they just stick to cardio? What about the training difference between young and older people? What does scientific research have to say about that? You could be an older person yourself, or you could be watching this video and have a parent, have your grandparents, or anybody in your family or your close circle that could benefit from watching this. So be sure to watch this video till the very end, because I'm going to give you some practical advice on training that can definitely improve the health and quality of life of older people. So watch this video till the very end and let's get started right away. You might relate to this because I've definitely seen this around me all the time. Most older people, they're retired and they don't have much to do. So they either go for a walk in the morning or in the evening along with their friends, and they walk endlessly for a very long time. And this is not that bad because obviously doing some amount of light aerobic work is good for your heart and cardiovascular health, but it does very little in terms of improving your overall quality of life and doesn't really help you age gracefully. Here's why. Most people just go for a walk, and some of them might even go in for the occasional samosa and chai after that, which is basically negating all the work that they did. But here's the deal. You need weight training in order to stimulate your muscles to not lose themselves, right? As you get older and older, your muscle atrophy. There's something called as sarcopenia, which means your muscles diminish in size and then there's muscle loss. To prevent this, you need to stimulate those muscles through working them, giving them some sort of resistance to work with. And weight training is definitely the only way to do that. That doesn't mean you have to lift heavy weights, you need to get under the barbell or risk anything that you haven't done for your entire life, but any sort of resistance onto your muscle. It could be body weight, it could be dumbbells, machines, resistance bands, cables, all of them count as strength training. You need to do some of that. Hey, you don't have to just take my word for it. I'm going to prove it to you. Why should you lift weights? Here's why. Like I said, reduce risk of sarcopenia, which is muscle loss or muscle atrophy. Also, reduce risks of falls, which can lead into mortality or something that can be really bad. You might end up in the hospital by falls, and that's very common in older people. Increased bone mineral density, which means not just your muscles, but also your bones are going to be more denser and more stronger, which means reduced risk of fractures. And you know how much of a nuisance it is if you get fractured bones when you're older. It takes forever to heal. Improved cognitive function and reflexes, which can definitely improve the overall quality of your life. Improved hormonal profile, which means all your organs and your overall health is in check. Improved cardiovascular function. Granted, walking and aerobic exercise is what does most of the difference when it comes to your cardiovascular function, but weight training or resistance training also has a huge part to play in it. Improved mobility and overall function, which means you can move better, you can move pain-free, and you can be more independent. You don't have to depend on others for basic everyday stuff like sitting down, walking up a flight of stairs, or carrying a small bag, or doing your everyday work. And here's one thing that all old people would agree with. They don't want to be a burden on someone, on their family members in particular. So having that sense of independence is a massive confidence boost for them. And it means a lot in improving the quality of their life and their self-esteem. Improved immunity and so much more. These were just some of the benefits of weight training that can happen when older people lift weights. You still don't believe me? I'm going to link an article. This is a scientific research paper that has been published and you can take a look at it. It's right down in my description, or I'll even pin it in my comment section of this video. So definitely take a look at that. Now, hopefully that was able to convince you that you should be weight training as an older adult. And with that being said, let's get exactly into what kind of weight training that you should do and what are the differences when you weight train as an older adult versus someone that is younger. Let's get right into it. Well, the basics remain the same for everyone, whether you're 18 years old or you're 65 years old. So you're still going to be performing the main compound lifts, the main compound movements that target multiple joints and multiple muscles at the same time. This mimics your everyday activities, everyday movement patterns that is going to make sure your body is functioning the way it should be. So what are the 6 main movement archetypes that you should be focusing on? First is a squat movement pattern. Then you have your hip hinge movement pattern like a deadlift or hip thrust. Then you have your 4 upper body movement patterns: a vertical push, a vertical pull, a horizontal push, and a horizontal pull. To this, you can also add in a lunge movement pattern, which is working your legs unilaterally, which targets more of the internal and external rotators of your legs, which is quite effective. Apart from that, you can also add in a brace or carry kind of movement, which is more for your core musculature and stability. So that's what's common between older and younger people when it comes to weight training. So what exactly changes? Here's what changes. First thing is you're going to have to spend a lot more time to warm up and prepare for your workout. You might have to spend 20 or even more than 30 minutes on your warm-up, mobility and prehab work, so that you're ready and you're reducing the risk of injuries when you're training. Don't max out or train to failure. You don't need to push your muscles to absolute failure like you would when you were younger. Obviously, mentally as well, a lot of people would hold themselves back and they wouldn't push themselves that hard, but you don't need to train that hard either. So save 2-3 reps in the tank and just focus on good quality technique and get the work done. Progressively get stronger, and that's going to get you the results that you want. Next, stick to training between the 8 to 15 rep range. What happens is when you go into a lower rep ranges, the weights that you lift will get heavier, and that can put some amount of strain on your joints. If you're someone that's completely new to weight training and you haven't done it in the past, then doing it for the first time as an older adult, it can take a toll on your joints. But if you have years of experience with training in the past, then you have built that capacity over time and you can train in the lower rep range and lift heavier. But otherwise, stick to the 8 to 15 rep range and just focus on quality of technique and gradually get stronger. And the next question is, should you use machines or you should use just free weights? Free weights meaning barbell, dumbbells and any sort of weight that is just free. Makes sense, right? So use a combination of both machines and free weights because both of them can help you get the best results. Machines obviously are more easier, they don't have that much of a technical demand and anybody can get into it, even beginners can do it. But some machines are restrictive in the range of motion and it might not be suitable for everyone. You can take a machine, for example a machine chest press. It might be comfortable on my body, on my bone structure, my biomechanics, whatever, and another person it might not suit them that comfortably and vice versa. So the point being, machines can be a hit or a miss depending on what machine it is and who's using it. Although it is easier technique wise, you should definitely give it a try, but free weights is something that definitely has a better carryover into your everyday day-to-day activities, whether it is walking, sitting down, climbing onto stairs, or lifting some sort of a light weight, or just moving around, doing any sort of stuff that any old person would have to do on a day-to-day basis. Free weights have a better carryover into day-to-day activities, but you need to learn the technique and it's a little bit more challenging. So definitely start off with machines and slowly introduce free weight movements as well. That's going to be the best approach. Next, have low to moderate training volumes. That means you don't need to do high volume of training like bodybuilders do. You don't need 4 to 5 sets on an exercise. You don't need to do 6 or 7 different exercises in the same training session. Stick to the basics. Do a few exercises, 3 to 4 exercises for your mains and then a couple of core or assistance exercises, and you can do just 2 to 3 sets and that's pushing it. You don't need to do any more than that because as you get older, the amount of training volume that you're able to handle reduces and you don't need that much of a stimulus to keep progressing. Also, it might take longer for you to recover between your training sessions. So each time you train a particular muscle group, give it at least 2 full days so that it completely recovers before retraining it again. And that's all. The most important thing of all is consistency. Just get off that mental block that you're not capable of weight training anymore, you're too old to make any change in your particular lifestyle. Get over it. Most people are not limited physically, they are limited mentally. Once you get past that, anything is possible. So just start training and take it one step at a time. Just get a little bit better each day and you will see that the results are going to amaze you. And that's all I have to say. Hopefully you found this video to be helpful. You follow the advice in this video and you start weight training, you're going to thank me for it later. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, comment down below what other content you want me to cover in the future, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, that helps me out immensely, and share this video to all your friends, your family members and anybody that would benefit from watching this video. And until next time, take care, stay hungry.